In the upakramas also, if you see the guna relation between upakrama, here the gunas which are important are listed at the beginning. And if you see why it is so, it is based on the Vidhana Tantra Yukti. Tantra Yukti, it is some of the keys to understand the text. Vidhana Tantra Yukti is Sutrakarasya Vidhaya Varnayati. So there is a order given by Sutrakara or a person who is writing text. He has some intention to write, and accordingly the gunas are placed in the particular order and it is explained. Like here what I explained earlier, Langhana, the order of the gunas, it is Laghu Ushna Ruksha, whereas Brahmana, it is Guru Shita Snigdha. And in every explanation of Charaka Samhita, you will have some methodology on the order of some particular points. And if you remember that, you will never forget how to write in the examination. But unfortunately, the students will write the examination without following the order. So here, order in Shadvida Upakrama is the three gunas are listed in an order, and that order is important because that decides the action of that particular upakrama. So here, the Shadvida Upakrama karma, it is explained, that is Langhanam Laghavaya, Brahmanam Brahatvam Janayati, and all these are explained in the previous shloka. And the three gunas for each upakrama, it is explained. And when you combine the guna and karma, it is nothing but dravya, because we have studied in first chapter of Charaka Samhita, Dirghan Jiviti Adhyaya, the definition of dravya goes like this: Yatra Shritaha Karma Gunaha Karanam Samavai Yat Tat Dravyam. Dravya means it is a total package of guna, which is called Nischestaha, which is capable of doing the action, but it is not doing action, that is called guna, and the chesta, that is called karma. So guna and karma, they reside in a dravya, in samavaya relation, and that is called dravya. And after studying the karma and guna of Shadvida, you can see the dravyas explained for Shadvida Upakrama. So first we will see the Langhana Upakrama. What are the dravyas used in Langhana Upakrama? The first is Langhana, and all of we know that there are 10 types of Langhana as told in Chakrapani, that is Dasha Prakarasya Langhanam. And for Chatushprakara Samshuddhi, that is 4 types of Samshodhana, Vamana Virechana, Asthapana, and Nasya. We have to refer Kalpasthana and Siddhisthana. In Kalpasthana, the drugs of Vamana and Virechana are explained. Those are considered as Dravya of Chatushprakara Samshuddhi. And in Siddhisthana, we will get the references of Asthapana Basti Dravya and Nasya Dravya. And we have to refer that. So it is called Anagata Vekshana Tantra Yukti. You have to refer further in future of Charaka Samhita chapters, and we will get the idea what are the dravyas for Chatushprakara or Shodhana Rupi Langhana. And Pipasa Nigraha, that is considered as a type of or controlling the thirst. It is nothing but a Beshaja which is called Adravya Bhuta. No dravya is used. That's why it is called Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. Maruta Sevana, exposure to breeze, that is also called Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. You are not directly using any dravya there. And Atapa Sevana, exposure to sunlight, that is also called Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. In Charaka Vimanasthana 8th chapter, Beshajam Dvividam is explained. One is Dravya Bhuta and Adravya Bhuta Beshaja is considered as Upaya. That we will not discuss in detail. And the 10th variety of Langhana, that is called Pachana, or the drugs which are responsible for Amapachana, that is explained in every chapter of Charaka Samhita. Whenever you read a disease or it is Vyadhi Anusara, according to the disease, the Pachana Dravyas are utilized or explained, and that you have to select. For example, if you see the Grahani, some Pachana Dravyas are explained, and you have to identify which are the Pachana Dravyas, and accordingly you have to administer. And if you see some other disorder, there also the Pachana Dravya is explained, and then you have to utilize that. So it all depends upon the contextual references or the Vyadhi which you are going to study. That is, Vyadhi Anusara Pachana is explained. And then if you see the Upavasa or fasting, again a type of, it is Adravya Bhuta Beshaja, like nothing is given as food or drinks, and that's why it is called Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. Vyayama is also considered as Sanghana Upakrama. It is Karma Rupi Beshaja. Some action is induced so that there is change in the bodily factor. That is Vyayamascheti Langhanam. And here, as I told, Chatushprakara Samshuddhi and Pachana, only these 5, they are Dravya Bhuta Beshaja. Some Dravyas are utilized and Langhana is administered. Remaining, that is Upavasa, Vyayama, Maruta, Atapasevana and Vipasa Nigraha, 5 are considered as Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. So here, the Langhana, which is having Laghu, Ruksha and Ushnaguna, Adravya Bhuta, they are also doing this, are creating these gunas, and Dravya Bhuta Beshaja, they are also creating these gunas in the body. And this is the reference of Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana, 22nd chapter, Chatushprakara Samshuddhihi, Pipasa Maruta Tapu, Pachanani Upavasascha, Vyayamascha iti Langhanam. So it is Langhana, you can divide it into 50-50 portion. 50% it is Dravya Bhuta Beshaja, as told here, Chatushprakara Samshuddhi and Pachana are Dravya Bhuta Beshaja, and remaining 50 are Adravya Bhuta Beshaja. And if you see the next Upakrama, it is Brahmana, and the drugs mentioned in this particular chapter, 22nd chapter, I have not listed all the Dravyas mentioned here. Main drugs or Dravyas are listed here. Mamsam Brahmanam Uchyate. The Mamsam or Mamsa is considered as Brahmana, and that is good for increasing the body mass. Then the other Brahmana are Snanam, Utsadanam. Again, these two, Snana and Utsadana, they are considered as the therapy or the procedure for the external body parts. And Swapnaha or inducing sleep. Then Madhura Sneha Bastayah. The Madhura Sneha Bastaya in Chatushprakara Samshuddhi, Sneha Basti is excluded, as told in the Chakrapani, Anuvasanam Brahmanatvat. So here Sneha Basti or Anuvasana Basti is considered as Brahmana. That's why in this particular shloka, Sneha Basti or Anuvasana Basti with the Madhura Dravya is utilized. And then use of Sharkara, Kshira and Sarpi. The use of Sharkara, Kshira and Sarpi. If you see some of the yogas of Charaka Samhita, like Shatavari Grata or Brahat Shatavari Grata, which is explained in Charaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthana 30th chapter, Yoni Vyapa Chikitsa, you can see the use of Sarpi as main base for Brahat Shatavari Grata. And while processing this Brahat Shatavari Grata, Kshira, it is utilized, and the Sharkara is also added to it. Similarly, if you see the Drakshadigrata explained in Charaka Samhita, in Gulma Chikitsa, Pittajo Gulma Chikitsa, the Sharkara, Kshira and Sarpi are utilized. So all these are considered as the Brahmana Dravyas. And if the next Upakrama, it is Rukshana, and the Rukshana Dravyas are Rukshana Dravya are Katutikta Kashayanam Sevanam. The Dravyas which are having Katutikta Kashaya, they are considered as Rukshana Dravyas, and Takra Sevana, Madhu Sevana. In some disorders like Arshas, Atisara and Grahani, Takra Prayogas are indicated in Charaka Samhita. Madhu Sevana, the use of honey as Dravya, it is explained here as Rukshana. And in the treatment of Atistaulya, in the previous chapter, that is Ashtau Ninditiya Adhyaya, the Madhudaka, it is mentioned, it is mainly for Rukshana purpose. Similarly, other dravyas are Khali Sevana and Pinyaka Sevana. Khali and Pinyaka, they are the varieties of oil cake, or they are the residue of oil extraction from Sarshapa and Tilam. In this way, the few dravyas are explained for Rukshana Upakrama. And then the next Upakrama, it is the two Upakramas, it is Snehana and Svedana. The dravyas are not explained in this particular chapter. That is, Snehana dravyas are explained in the Snehadhyaya, and Svedana dravya, they are explained in Svedadhyaya. And here it is explained, Snehaha, Snehaitavyaha cha Svedaha, Svedyaha cha Yenaraha, Snehadhyayi, Svedakhi, Maya Uktaha. So this is known as Atita Avekshana Tantra Yukti. Atita means past. So we are referring 22nd chapter of Charaka Samhita and 13th and 14th chapter, that is Snehadhyaya and Svedadhyaya, that is, it is before 22nd chapter, means these two chapters are over. That's why it is called past chapters or Atita, and we are referring back. That's why it is called Atita Avekshana Tantra Yukti. And here nothing is explained about what are the Snehana Dravya and what are the Svedana Dravya. And in Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana also, Snehopaka and Svedopaka Dravyas are added along with the Snehana Dravya and Svedana Dravya explained in 13th and 14th chapter. So again, you have to refer back about Snehana Dravya and Svedana Dravya in the 13th and 14th chapter. And the next chapter, it is, next Upakrama, it is Stambhana Upakrama. And the Stambhana Upakrama, it is the rasas utilized are Swadu Tiktam Kashayam. Any yoga or any dravya which is having Swadu, Tikta and Kashaya dravya, and which is having Shiti Karana Aushadam, which increases guna of body, those are considered as Stambhana dravya. And if you refer back the qualities of the rasas which are subsiding pitta, it says Kashaya Swadu Tiktakaha Jayanti Pittam, as explained in the first chapter of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana. And another reference in Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana, 26th chapter, Katutikta Kashayaha tu Ruksha Bhavat Trayorasaham. These three rasas, that is Kashaya Rasa, Tikta Rasa and Katu Rasa. Here Madhura Rasa is not explained. Dhukkaya Mokshe Drishyante. So when you combine the first chapter reference and 26th chapter reference, you will get an idea as the definition of Stambhana is Stambhayati Yat Gatimantam. Here in the 26th chapter 60th shloka reference, it explains some of the bodily factors which are moving in the body. Those are Vata, Vit, Mutra and Retas. And Stambhana dravyas are responsible for controlling the movement of these factors, that is Vata, Vit, Mutra and Retas. So any dravya which is having Swadu Tikta Kashaya Rasa and Shita Guna or Shita Virya is considered as Stambhana dravya, and that is utilized in disorders. How it is utilized, that we will see later. We will give some example. We will have some examples, and accordingly it is utilized. So in this way, if you combine all the things what we have studied till now, Shed Upakrama, it is explained as the title of the chapter, and in the beginning the karmas of the Shed Upakrama, it is explained how these 6 upakramas are acting on the body. It is explained. After explaining the karmas, the gunas for each karma or each upakrama is explained, and from those gunas, only 3 gunas I have selected for the better understanding. And the karma and guna, they are intimately related in the form of dravya. The karma and guna are invariably present in a dravya, and That's why we have seen some of the examples for Shad Upakrama Dravyas in the form of what are the Dravyas for Langhana till Stambhana. And these four factors, that is Dravya, Guna, Karma and Samavaya, their mutual combination is responsible for Samanya and Vishesha. When you administer something to the body, if they are having similar gunas for the bodily tissues, then there is Vriddhi, that is the Samanya Siddhanta. If they are having opposite gunas or karmas to the bodily factors, then there is Rasa or Apachaya, that is called Vishesham. That is, in total, we have to study Shadupakrama in the heading of Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samavaya and Samanya Vishesham. That's nothing but Shad Padartha, and according to Charaka Samhita, Sutrasthana first chapter, these six are considered as Karana, Ityuktam Karanam. These are considered as the Karana of Ayurveda, and based on that, Karya is explained. That is, Karyam Dhatu Samyam Iha Uchyate. Dhatu Samya is nothing but Chikitsa. So the treatment plan, it is entirely based on the Shat Padarthas or Karana of Ayurveda, what you have studied in the first BAMS. So understand the Karana of Shadupakrama first. What are the gunas of Shadupakrama? What are the karmas of Shadupakrama? How they are related in terms of Dravya, and how Samanya or Vishesha karma can be achieved, so that a practitioner can use this Shadupakrama in the clinical practice. We will see some of the example. I have not gone in detail about the each and every shloka explained in this particular chapter, but some cross references I have given. It is taken from Charaka Samhita only. We will see Vyadi Anusara Shadupakrama. First we will see the Langhana Upakrama. First we will see the Pachana, because the Pachana and Chatushprakara Samhiti, they are the Dravya Bhuta Langhana Upakrama. So I am not dealing with the Chatushprakara Samshuddhi because it is a very lengthy portion. That's why I have taken only the Pachana as Langhana, or Pachana Rupi Langhana is taken here. And if you see the list of the Langhana or Pachanaihi Tan Vishak Prajnaha, in that the Jwara is explained. It is mentioned in the same chapter of 22nd chapter, Vami Atisara Radroga Visuchika Alasaka Jwaraha, and Bishak Pachanaihi Adu Upacharet. So Pachana Langhana is explained for Jwara. So this is a base or Upakrama. Pachana Upakrama is explained in the 22nd chapter. And if you see the Chikitsasthana, third chapter, where Jwara Chikitsa is explained, the Pachana Dravyas are explained. That is, Pachanani Avipakvanam Doshanam Tarune Jware. In Taruna Jwara, you have to use Pachana Kashaya or Ama Pachana Kashaya in the Taruna Jwara. So there is a matching between the shloka explained in the Sutrasthana 22nd chapter to the shloka explained in Charaka Chikitsa 3rd chapter. There is always a link between these two. Similarly, while explaining the Kashayas, that is Pachana Kashaya and Shamaniya Kashaya, in the same chapter of Jwara Chikitsa, Pachanam Shamaniyam va Kashayam Payayet Vishak. Either you have to administer Pachana Kashaya if there is Amavastha, or Shamana Kashaya if there is Niramavastha. That is the meaning of the shloka of 3rd chapter of Chikitsasthana, 160th shloka. So in this way, get the idea of Upakrama from the 22nd chapter of Sutrasthana, then try to see whether it is explained in the same disorder of the same text like Charaka Samhita or not. So here only the Jwara example I have taken, as the Langhana or Pachana Rupi Langhana is explained for Jwara. Similarly, there are so many other disorders which are listed for Pachana. Atiswara, it is explained. For Visuchika and Alasaka, it is explained. And even Radroga, it is explained. And Arochakadayah Pachanaihi. So you can see, you can turn the pages of respective disorder and you can see whether the Pachana Dravyas are explained or not. If you go through in this way, definitely you will get the idea that Pachana Dravyas are explained in that particular context. So this is a summary of the Upakrama which is explained in the 22nd chapter. So this is about the example of Langhana Upakrama. And if you see the Brahmana Upakrama, the next Upakrama, it is explained in the 22nd chapter. It is mentioned, that is Vyadibihi Karshitaha Ye Naraha, or Brahmaniya Narasmrataha. If a person is suffering from a disease and Karshana or the Krishata is observed because of disorder, then Brahmana is administered or Brahmana is ideal. So that is explained in the 22nd chapter, 26th shloka. And if you take Shosha or Rajayakshma as example for this particular Brahmaniya, that is also explained in the same chapter, like Shosha Arsha Grahani Doshaihi Vyadibihi Karshitaha. That's why I have taken Shosha or Rajayakshma as example. And if you refer the Shosha Adhyaya or Rajayakshma Adhyaya of Charaka Samhita Chikitsa Sthana, you will get the references in the end of the Rajayakshma, that the various Mamsa or Mamsa Upayoga, it is explained for Rajayakshma. It is the use of Mamsa, it starts from the shloka number 149 and it ends till 178. So enormous shlokas are given for Mamsa Upayoga. That means you treat the Rajayakshma first with the help of all the other treatments as the Vyadihara Chikitsa. And because of Vyadi, the person is having Krishavastha, then treat with Mamsa Upayoga. And in the shloka number 149 of Rajayakshma Chikitsa of Charaka Samhita, it is mentioned, Dadyat Mamsada Mamsani Brahmanani Cheshata. So Mamsada Mamsa means it is the Mamsa of carnivorous animal that is good for Brahmana, or that is the special Mamsa for Brahmana purpose. Similarly, there are so many other Mamsa explanation here in the same chapter of Rajayakshma. The another reference in the same chapter is Mamsena Apachita Anganam Mamsam Mamsakaram Param. If there is a depletion of Mamsa Dhatu, then you administer Mamsa and then person will get the Krishavastha over and he will get the Brahmana. So that is Mamsena Apachita Anganam Mamsam Mamsakaram Param. And one more reference in the same chapter of Rajayakshma Chikitsa, it is mentioned Vidivat Supasiddhani Manojnani Mradunicha Rasavanti Sugandhini Mamsani Etani Bhakshayet. Then question will come, if I say you administer Mamsa for a person who is suffering from Rajayakshma or Shosha, then how to administer? Then we may think that it is administered raw or it is administered as a medicine. It is not so. It is mentioned Vidivat Supasiddhani. Supasiddhani means as per Pakashastra references, you have to process this Mamsa so that the person or patient should like your preparation and he has to consume Mamsa, and then the Mamsani Etani Bhakshayet. So you have to understand what is Supashastra and how Supashastra is important for Ayurveda. And we have so many Supashastra books like Paka Pradipa, Paka Darpana, and Nalakrata Supashastra. Many are there, Mangarasa Supashastra. So you go through the different processing techniques which are explained in that, and accordingly you process Mamsa and give it to the patient. so that the Brahmana action is attained. Here, the administration of Mamsa is not like you are administering any medicine to the patient. It is as if you are administering the Mamsa in the form of delicious food. That's why it is mentioned Vidivat Supasiddhani Manojnani Mrudunicha. Manojnani means the person should or patient should like the food preparation what you have prepared. So this is the example for Brahma in the second chapter. Same thing is explained in some different disorder. In case of Rajayakshma, for example, the Mamsa is utilized. Similarly, here some other preparations are given along with the Madhya also. That is Varuni, Manda Nityasya. Many things are explained. It is also based on this Shadvida Upakrama concept. I'm not going in detail about the Madhya preparation and how it is used and all. So here Mamsam Brahmaniyanam as told in the Charaka Sutra 25th chapter as Agraushadi, and in 22nd chapter Mamsa is considered as good for Brahmana, and the varieties of Mamsas and Mamsa preparations are told in the Rajayakshma. So this is example for Brahmana, and then we will move on to the next Upakrama, that is Rukshana Upakrama. In the shloka of Charaka Samhita 22nd chapter, that is Langhana Brahmaniya Adhyaya, the reference is Uru Stambha Prabhrateyo Rukshaniya Nidarshitaha. The disorders like Uru Stambha or Uru Stambha, you should do Rukshana always. And in Charaka Chikitsa Sthana 27th chapter, the chapter on Uru Stambha Chikitsa, you will get the dravya Sada Ruksha Upacharaya Yava Shyamaka Kodravan. Yava, Shyamaka and Kodrava are considered as Trunadanya. It is listed in the Tranavarga or Dhanya Varga in Charaka Samhita, which are considered as Kafahara, and such dravyas are used in the form of food, and that is given for Uru Stambha patient. Here the Rukshana is the line of treatment in 22nd chapter, and in the 27th chapter of Chikitsa Sthana, the dravyas are given like Yava, Shyamaka and Kodrava. And in 22nd chapter of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana, Madhu is utilized or used as Rukshana Dravya. Here in Uru Stambha also, you can see the use of Madhudaka. Madhudaka is the warm water which is added with honey, and that is used along with the Pippali, and it is good for Uru Stambha. Madhudakasya Pippalya Uru Stambha Vinashanaha. Here Madhu is added to plain water, not for hot water. If you add Madhu along with hot water, it is just like Viruddha Ahara, and it may kill the patient. If you see the reference of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana 27th chapter, it is mentioned Madhu Ushnam Ushnartasya Maranaya. If you eat the Madhu, that will become Visha like substance, or if you add Madhu with any Ushna Dravya, then person may die. It is explained in the list of Viruddha Ahara. So Madhudakasya Pippalya Urustamba Vinashanaha. In this way, some of the drugs which are explained in 22nd chapter of Sutrasthana, you can see the cross references in the respective disorder. And we will continue the Upakramas, Stambhana Upakrama, and the use of Stambhana Upakrama. You can see the drugs or the Stambhana Dravyas where it should be used. It is mentioned Vami Atisara Peditaha Stambhaniyaha. There are so many other Dravyas, Vyadis also, but only the Vamana or Chardi and Atisara I have taken. Vami Atisara Peditaha Stambhaniyaha. If a person is suffering from diarrhea or vomiting, Stambhana should be done. And if you see the list of the drugs which are explained in Atisara Chikitsa, you go through the different combinations given in Charaka Samhita in Atisara Chikitsa, you will have these 4 drugs repeatedly, like Samanga, Mocharasa, Dhataki, Katphala. Of course, there are some other drugs. In every yogas, you will get these drugs in repetition. That is Samanga, Mocharasa, Dhataki, and Katphala. And if you see the reference in Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 4th chapter, that is Shadvirechana Shatashridiya Adhyaya, these 4 drugs are listed in the drugs of Sandhaniyani Dashemani. And what is the meaning of Sandhana? If you see the Chakrapani reference, he says Sandhana means it stops the movement. Sometimes it is used as a Asti Sandhana or a Bhagna Sandhana also, but it is used for stopping the movement of the bodily factor. So here in Atisara and Vamana, the bodily factors are moving out of the body. That's why along with other drugs, Sandhaniya drugs are utilized in Atisara. It is based on the dravyas, guna and karmas of Stambhana Upakrama as told in the Sutrasthana 22nd chapter. So you should understand what are the dravyas, what are the karmas mentioned for each upakrama, and what are the gunas explained for each upakrama, and how they are related to particular disease. If you try to read every disorder in this way, you can write better in examination. You can understand a disease in a better way, so that you can plan the treatment in a patient with good outcome. So in this way, the Stambhana dravyas are utilized for the treatment. In total, the Shadupakrama, it is not a separate entity which is explained in Charaka Sutrasthana. Always you try to read this Shadvida Upakrama in relation to the Vyadhi as a topic of 3rd year BMS, and you try to connect these two, that is 2nd year portion and final year portion, with the portion what you have studied in Padartha Vijnana in terms of Dravya, Rasa, Guna, Virya, Vipaka, Prabhava also, or Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha and Samavaya. Then you can understand the nature of writings of Charaka Samhita, how it is written and what is the base and how the things are interrelated. Otherwise, you feel that these things are written randomly, and if you try to remember the facts, you cannot recollect the things and you cannot remember all the factors. Try to understand these factors along with some basics explained in the chapter 22nd, and try to remember and try to expand in the each and every disease. So this is how we have to understand Charaka Samhita, and this is how we have to plan the Shadvida Upakrama in the clinical practice. Of course, we are not doing much in the practice.